Hello.
Hi, everyone.
It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for building blocks of beading. This is Jenny, and she will be your host. This is our second episode of Building Blocks. We are focusing on tools today. So before we get started, if you don't mind, like this video if you are watching on YouTube, heart the video if you're watching on Facebook, and share it with your friends. We would appreciate it. And also, before we get started, I would like to let you guys know that with any purchase of $20 or more at beadplace.net today, you will receive 2 free gifts, a bead mat and a triangle tray. And Jenny's going to talk a little bit more about that in just a few.
Awesome.
All right.
Great. Is there a code or anything they need to?
Just make sure to put building blocks in the notes of your order.
Building blocks.
Thanks, Becky, for the reminder. Hello, everyone.
Hello. We're all connected now.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, and I hope you enjoyed our little infomercial promo. We had fun doing that. We're just going to kind of jump right in because we have a lot of tools to cover, and we don't want to be here all day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with kind of general plier info for you. It's really important to know that jewelry tools are a little different than just your everyday tools that you're going to find in the marketplace. If you go to the tool store, Lowe's, Home Depot, and stuff like that, you're going to find tools that look similar to this, but they're going to be bigger. They're going to be harder to hold because of their size, and they're going to not be specialized to work with jewelry essentials. So just FYI, sure, you can grab a pair of them, but they may damage your project. And so you want to make sure that you use good tools that are meant to be used for your project. So jumping in, we're going to start with pliers. I'm going to show you my little tray here. It's got a little collection. It's super cute.
It is super cute.
So we're going to start with our general information. Again, they're smoother. So I'll show you this one specifically is a chain nose, but you notice that it has that's smooth here on the inside. Whereas if you bought a pair of needle nose pliers from the hardware store, they would be serrated. And so that's why you want to make sure you're using specialized tools for your projects. Our first one is round nose pliers. These have like a needle nose kind of look. They're not serrated. They're very smooth. These are meant for making closed wrap loops for your earrings or on dangles that are going to hang from a bracelet or a project. You can use them to make a closed wrap loop to attach a pendant to a necklace and things like that. These are not good for gripping. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a gap right here in between. You can see the tray underneath it through there. So these are not good grippers. They are meant specifically for rounding wire. I like when I make my my loops, my closed wrap loops, I take a Sharpie and I'll put a little mark at my perfect spot that I like to make the loops on so that they're uniform. So that is my little tip.
I like that.
I think they do make this tool. I've seen a tool like this that has markings on it, but that's my cheater way that I've been doing it for years.
I like that.
Next one we're going to go on to is our chain nose, also known as needle nose pliers. These are really essential for your jewelry making. They're great for opening and closing jump rings. We talked about that a little bit in our first episode about jump rings, opening and closings. These are great grippers, holders, using to pull when you wire wrap and things like that. They're great for shaping wire without marring it. So it's a really must-have tool. If you're going to get a couple of tools for your kit, you should have these guys. These two are essential, and then the next couple that I'm going to talk to they're good to have, but I'll speak about those two in a minute. Yes, go
Sorry
ahead.
to interrupt. I just want to let you guys know I am putting links in the chat for the products that Jenny is talking about, the different tools. And then I also just added the link for the replay of Jenny's last building blocks episode.
Oh, I have replays.
Yeah, replays.
Awesome. All right, now we're going to talk about bent chain nose. Similar to the chain nose, it has very flat, smooth insides, but it's bent so that it makes it easier, especially like when we talked about the jump rings, to hold the side of the jump ring and twist it opening and closing. These are great tools for that. Better visibility, you can get access to harder to reach areas, keeps your hand kind of out of the way of the work. They have a smooth, tapered interior jaws, prevents it from scratching or marring delicate wire and soft metal findings. So those are the bent chain nose. Our next one we're going to talk about is our flat nose, which I love. This is the other one. If I have to have 2 pliers in my house, I have the chain nose and I have the flat nose because they're really great for gripping. This one you'll notice it has smooth on the inside, but it's flat. So it's good for gripping. See, when you hold it, you can't see daylight underneath. Gripping flat objects, you can straighten some metal, like you can grab the edge and kind of straighten things. Great for creating sharp 90-degree bends with your wire. It's also one of those tools. If I had to have 3 things, it would be round nose, chain nose, and flat nose in my tool. So that's what I have. The next one is also a flat nose, but it has a specialized jaw on it. It's called a nylon jaw, if you can see that. This is great for smoothing out wire, especially like, sometimes you'll get a whole bunch of head pins and maybe you've got them in a drawer and they get all bent. You can just smooth those puppies out really fast with these nylon jaws. And these are replaceable. So if you lose one, they have a little replacement set that comes with that. So that's really nice too, because they do wear out. If you can see, I'm not sure you can see this up close.
I tried to grab one that had the least amount of wear possible.
Yeah, but you can tell that it's been used a little bit, but they do wear out. I had to replace mine after a couple years. Yeah. Next one I'm going to talk to you about is bail making pliers. So these little guys are super cute. They're round. See how there's not any big taper at all on the end. It's the same diameter. I'm going to hold it up like that so you can see it all the way down. Well, this is for making a loop around something, to make your wire loops, to make a bail, to hang off a pendant off of and something like that. So it's like a really nice smooth tool, whereas this one, see how it tapers? You're always going to get a different size, whereas this one you're always going to get a same size rounded. And it has 2 different diameters, so you can get the larger diameter if you need it for a bigger chain and a smaller diameter. And that's I really like that tool too. I skipped the nylon jaw bracelet bending, which is great if you do like aluminum stamping, letter stamping in your, you have that in your arsenal that you like to do. This gently bends the metal so that it makes the arc in it. So you kind of go around the metal and you just kind of press it and it bends it. Because, if you just bend it, you're going to get a wonky looking bracelet loop. And if you don't have like a mandrel to bend it around, this is a great tool to have to gently bend that into that shape. And then you can kind of finish up with your hands, because aluminum's fairly soft, but if you get it bent too much the wrong way, you can probably never get it back into shape.
Yes.
All righty. Last one on the tray here is our metal hole punch pliers. So those are nifty little, right there, little punch a little hole. They precise clean holes in sheet metal, copper, silver, brass. If you've got a little finding that you want to punch and make it into a charm, you can do that as well. They are, so it depends on metal gauge, like how hard it can be. And I believe it says right on here 1.8 millimeter.
Yeah, that
is that the size of the hole?
The hole.
That's the size of the hole.
This particular one, this is the Beadsmith, which I just linked previously. I linked the Euro tool. hole punch pliers. The Beadsmith one will punch a hole in metal sheet stock up to 22 gauge.
That's great.
Softer metals, you can go a little thicker than that, but for like average metal sheet, 22 gauge.
That is good to know. Okay, we're going to change out to our next tray. Thank you, Becky. My lovely assistant. All right. We're going to go on to fun little other things. This is the one-step looper.
The blooper.
The blooper, as we call it. And this is a great tool for making a loop at the end of your wire so that you can hang it. And I had to really, the learning curve on this is a little, for me, you have to really practice it. So I recommend using it and then practicing with it so that you can get it to just work how you want it to. But you basically put your head pin through, it sticks out this other hole on the other side, and then you gently hold it up against there and cut, and that will actually create a nice loop around that then you can hang as a dangle off of a piece. So I really like this. Again, it is a little bit of a learning curve on that guy. Crimpers. Now, I will say, once you go magical, you're never going back. But the Magic Crimper is a wonderful tool that I think it kind of came out. Do you think it was like 2005-ish, or was it before that?
That's a good question. I feel like it did come out kind of right at the time that we were opening the store.
Yeah.
Let me look that up.
Because I never used the other crimper.
Really?
I know. Yeah, I never used the old style crimper. I always use these, and I really like them, and it's wonderful. So when I teach my students, when I'm teaching basic bead stringing, I say there's a little divot on both sides, and you just lay your crimp bead in the divot on your wire, and then you smush it. And when it comes out, then you'll have what looks like a little ravioli with corners on all four sides of your crimp bead. And then you turn it up and down perpendicular and put it back in and crimp it again. And then you just kind of leave it in there and crimp and twist, crimp and twist, and smush and twist. Smush and twist is what I tell them. Mm-hmm. And then when you pull it out, you're going to have a perfectly little rounded bead at the end of your bead project. And you don't, because of this tool, you don't have to use crimp covers and those sorts of things. So I love that I started with that and never had the old style. I'm kind of a snob now about it.
I've even had people stop me and look at my bracelets and, well, where's the crimp? I don't see it. Well,
yeah,
it's that little bitty bead right there.
Right. And this is the old school one. This one you have to use, you crimp it once and that kind of folds it in half, and then you put it back in and you crimp it again and it smushes it into it like elongated crimp. It doesn't make it round.
Looks like a hot dog bun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got ravioli and hot dog buns.
Raviolis and hot dogs, but we prefer raviolis.
Yes.
But it does, I think it still leaves a little bit of a sharp edge.
Yeah.
And then if you want it to look really professional, then you would have to put a crimp cover over it. But that's just an extra step. So
an extra cost.
Yeah.
And these are a little bit more expensive than the others. But in the long run, you're going to save time and effort
and money, because you don't have to buy crimp covers
because you're not buying crimp covers.
And it just makes it look a lot more professional.
Yeah. And purple's better than blue.
I will say the only complaints that we've ever gotten about magical crimpers is from people who are using the wrong crimp beads with it. It does take a 2 millimeter crimp tube, and you have to use good quality crimp tubes. If you're using poor quality crimp tubes, they'll crack. But they would crack anyway with the regular crimp tool, right, or regular crimp.
And is that they have to be not seamed?
Right. You cannot use seamed crimp. It has to be a solid tube. And we prefer heavy wall, thick crimp beads because it holds a stronger crimp. However, it's not entirely necessary to use heavy wall or thick wall crimp beads.
And that's all we carry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mary Beth asked, what crimp should I use with the magical crimper? Always a standard 2x2 crimp tube.
by 2.
And you can find those at beadplace.net. And I will do my best to link those
Put a little
for
link up there.
you.
Yeah, it's important. The wire, the style of crimp is really important. I will say that depending on the crimps that we carry, some of the ones that are a little harder to smush are anything that is coated, like the black
Mm-hmm.
and the brass. A
Mm-hmm.
little bit harder to do. You just have to use really good, you can't just go squeeze. You have to give it a really hard squeeze
Yeah.
to make those 2 metals work, but they still work.
That's also due to the fact that brass and copper are harder metals
Right.
in general versus the sterling silver and gold
Right.
front beads.
Yeah.
But yeah, specifically brass and copper, they're a lot harder to
They
squeeze.
still work, but you just have to put a little more oomph into it.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. We're going to go to Cutters. Isn't there a bar in town called Cutters? I
There
don't know.
is. There is.
They have good
Cutters.
They have good sandwiches.
Pizza. They have good pizza.
Yeah. So there's a couple different kinds of cutters. First, we're going to talk about flush cutters, which are a fabulous tool. The first one we're going to talk about is flex wire. Now, flush cut means that on one side, you see there's a little valley. That's a divot right there. On the other side, it is flat.
Can you put your hand behind that? I think I grabbed a
that better?
4-color choice for that. There you go. That's
that
way
better?
better.
So
yeah.
there's the flat side. Here's the side that has a little divot in it, a little valley. You never cut with the valley towards your project. You always cut with the flat side towards your project. And that's so that you can get right up next to something and cut it. If you cut it the other way, you're always going to have a little tiny piece of wire that sticks up because the cutter is below the surface of those. So these are, it's a family of flush cutters is what we're going to talk about right now. The family of flush cutters. You're going to get flat, precise cuts, right? And you can get right up next to your bead and you don't have to worry about getting raggedy edges picked up and stuff like that. So our first one is our soft flex wire cutters. And these are made specifically to cut beading wire like soft flex. Okay. And it's because they'll cut it without fraying the ends, right? Now, if you use other standard cutters, they can be damaged by that stainless steel core that's in those other in the wires. So you want to make sure you have a dedicated flex wire cutter. So we always write soft flex so people know don't use that one.
Yeah.
Because there are other orange handled cutters in the shop, but we always mark it. And at home, I always mark the year that I opened them.
Oh,
so
that's smart.
So I know how old they are.
Yeah.
Because then I have, those are my new ones. Because I always forget, and then I cut something I shouldn't with them, and then I got a dent. Now these are fairly new and not damaged, but sometimes someone who doesn't know will pick them up and cut them, and you'll have a little divot in there, and then they don't cut as well. They're not as precise. So
It's kind of like if you're a quilter and somebody uses your quilting scissors for paper. Don't do that.
Yeah, I always say, when your mom said, "Don't touch my sewing scissors," that's pretty much
Totally worth
Pretty
it.
much
A
it.
dedicated pair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our next cutter is our soft wire cutter. This is a really good all-around cutter to use. Same problem, not same problem, but same situation. This one has a valley on one side and a flat area on the other. And that's where you want to use your cutting. Again, the flat side against where you're cutting. Look, I can't even cut myself because it's so flat. I could probably try harder.
Don't try harder.
But this one has specifically, they've written on it up to 1.3 millimeter copper wire is the highest that this can cut. Now, these have been used to cut things that they shouldn't. And I think you can see if I hold it up close. Can you see the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's somebody has dented those. So again, you have to just be super careful about your flush cutters. Make sure you just cut what they're supposed to cut. The next one is a 5-inch flush cutter. It's a little heavier duty. This one is kind of a workhorse, can do a lot of other things. The first two I showed you want to kind of keep those special just for projects that this is going to cut heavier duty wire, heavier gauge wire, and be a good workhorse for your tool chest. One thing I didn't mention earlier, which I do want to say, is it's great to have tools that have some kind of spring mechanism to work. So I pinch those and they open right back up. That's nice to have. The tools, hand me that chain nose plier right there. These tools that I showed you earlier, I meant to mention, but they have this little spring action right here. So you don't have to pull them apart when you're working with them. They spring open. So their natural position is open, and then you have to hold them tight like that. That's important in tools because you don't want to be putting down your project to pull your pliers apart. That's just no fun.
And it saves wear and tear on your hands too.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And another thing about the tools being smaller is it's good for our hands. Just somebody's calling me.
Trying to hang up.
It's probably just somebody trying to sell me something because my roof needs repair.
Oh man.
You know how that is. They had hail here last year and they're still calling everybody telling them they need their roof repaired. Anyway, on to flush guard. Okay, memory wire. This one, I always say it looks like a little parrot.
It does.
So I like this. It's a great tool for cutting. This is a memory wire cutter. It's made specifically to cut.
Bring us back 1 second.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we're back.
We're back. So where was I? Oh, I was going to say Abby has a great tip for the memory wire cutters. She says it's her go-to project. Okay, there we go. Technical
All
difficulties.
right, sorry about that, guys.
All right, well, we'll go start over. Memory wire cutters made specifically to cut memory wire. I say they look like a little parrot mouth, like a beak. And Abby said that they're her go-to cutter for projects because it makes a smooth cut rather than an angled one. A lot of times when you cut with this kind of a cutter, you get it flat on one side, but the other side is sharp. Whereas when you cut with these, you get flat on both sides. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically for thick gauge wire, I like that it almost like breaks through the wire or snaps through the wire rather than mashing through the wire like some of the other ones will.
Right.
It kind of supports the whole.
Yeah, you'll get a
shape.
A shape like this on one side of the wire rather than just a flat. You know, does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me. This is our knot cutter. It's very similar to our soft wire cutter in shape and size and everything, but it's a better tool for higher gauge wires and harder metal wires to cut. So it's another cutter to have in your arsenal. If you're doing a lot of wire work, it's important to have a variety of cutters for the different gauges.
I use this a lot for, like Jenny said, fine gauge wire, but also when I'm doing knotting projects like pearl knotting, or when I need to kind of like get in there to cut thread. It's got such a fine flush tip, but it's designed to cut the like finer or softer things with precision.
Yeah, and this one is also considered a flush cutter. It's got the smooth end down here and the concave on the other side. Very good. All right, this last one, this is the side cutter.
Yes.
So this is called a side cutter. Oh, that one fell off my list. I don't know what happened, but this.
I was just gonna say it is it's my other favorite tool for thick gauge wire. It is designed to cut like those heavier, harder materials, or even when you are working on a project and you don't necessarily know the metal, this is going to be your good kind of all-purpose heavy-duty cutter.
And this one, correct me if I'm wrong, you might need to smooth the wire after you snip with this one.
Yeah, it'll leave it pretty gnarly sometimes.
It's a
but
more of a rough cut.
yeah, but
Correct.
it's designed for like heavier duty construction of projects.
Awesome. All right, we're
Yeah.
going to move on to
That
snips.
one, yep,
Snip, 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 snip. A couple of fa-la-las.
beautiful. It wouldn't be a Bead Play stream unless somebody was singing.
We got to sing. We got a couple of different snips. This is just really, I think, a preference of what's comfortable in your hand. They all do basically the same thing, which is snip little threads.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing embroidery projects or any kind of stuff with fiber in your jewelry, this would be a really great tool to have. These are thread snips. Well, I'll start here with the Chroma, which are the cutest scissors in the whole shop.
They're so cute.
They're adorable. We love them. These are little titanium snips that just really are a great little tool to have. We have them in the jars up by the desk so we can snip little strands apart and things like that. But I also have a pair of these in my crochet bag at home, and they're just a great little tool to have.
They're
Although they are small, but I got them confiscated from me at the hospital the other day when I was going in, like, okay, I'm not going to hurt anybody with these scissors, but they are sharp. So I got them back at the end. But
I'm glad you got them back. 'Cause
yeah,
you don't always.
it's like, those are my pretty scissors. I don't want to leave them there.
Yeah.
So those are our little Chroma embroidery scissors. Those super cute. These are thread snips, which these are great. They're just kind of real rudimentary, but they're on
They're
a spring.
sharp.
They're very, very sharp. You want to keep them in a cover because they will poke something else in your kit.
Mhm.
But those are really nice little snips too. And then we have this little thread cutter, which is a very similar tool to the little snips that I just showed you, but it comes in this nice little case. So you can tuck it away in your project bag or something like that. So that's a nice thing. So if you want to travel and stuff like that, those are nice ones to have.
A little bit less rudimentary, a little bit
Yeah.
more comfortable.
This is very
and
utilitarian,
it's purple.
and it's purple. How good can it be, right?
Yes.
Very good. All right, we're going to move on to mats and trays.
Let me slide over the pile to you.
Pliers
How
and
about?
pliers and mats and trays. Oh
I
my!
don't know. Do you want me to hand them
this-
to you one by one, or you want to grab them one by one?
I'll work from them
Okay.
over here. Now, beading mats. We're sitting here looking at a beading mat today, and that's part of our bonus today. Was if you with a purchase, right?
Mhm. Any $20 purchase, you'll receive one free bead mat and one free triangle tray. You have to put building blocks in your order notes, though.
Which are awesome. These are great flexible mats. They're just real thin. I don't know. They remind me of those blankets
Yeah.
back in the
Mhm.
80s, I think.
Everybody's favorite blanket at Grandma's house.
Yeah. So these are great. They come in a variety of colors. I prefer working on one that is kind of neutral because it doesn't distract from my bead color design.
Mhm.
But I know we use all different colors all the time. These are great. One of my big tips is to use this when you first start out beading, you don't have a dedicated space to bead, is put this in put it in a cookie sheet. And so if you get bonked or if your cat jumps up on you, all your beads will stay in your cookie sheet. And so that's awesome. A great, great tool to have. I really like a bead mat.
They're so good.
They are so good. I don't know how we lived without them before.
Not quite cat proof, not quite cat hair proof, but machine washable. So
Right.
all is good.
Very good.
I don't think anything is cat hair proof.
All right. We have also gotten in the store recently these new mats, which do you want me to take them out of the package or just
I
we're
think
okay.
they can see them through. I think they're pretty easy to see.
This one is 11 by 8 and it has 6 cavities at the top, which are really great if you're doing like any kind of peyote pattern and stuff like that. You can put your beads in the separate compartments, and then you know this is A, B, C, D, E, F. And then you have a little area down here to work. It has a raised edge around it, so it kind of keeps your work in that little tray.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Those are really easy to take with you because you can just roll it up or fold it up and take it with you.
Our friend Sally has a question. She says, what is good to cut, rubber tubing or leather cord? That's a great question. My answer for that, I like using that blue knot cutter that Jenny talked about. That's my personal preference. I also lately have really been into using the chroma scissors for things like that. But
Yeah.
I would say ease of use, like versus I just grab it because it's cute. The knot cutter, this guy here is my favorite
Bless you.
because it works the best. But when I just want to be cutesy, I pick
Yeah.
the chroma scissors.
Yeah, these are great all around cutters. That tubing is super soft and
Yes.
it will cut through that.
Mhm.
Cording, I cut the vegan suede with those as well.
Mhm.
Leather, it'll cut leather.
Yeah.
They're
One is
great.
fashion and one is function.
Right.
Because they're pretty.
Mary
Um,
Beth says, I just got one of those and I love it. Speaking of the,
The bead
segmented mat.
Yeah, we also have a larger one for bigger projects. It's fairly large. This one's 14 by 11 and it has 7 compartments at the top.
Like placemat size.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's about the size of the bead mat that we have down here
Mhm.
as well. And so you can see like the little picture on there. Let me turn that so you can see it
And guys,
about how people use it.
the link that I'm sharing for each of these products has additional information and additional product use pictures. So if you're curious about any of these tools or products that Jenny is covering and you want to learn more, feel free to click those links that we're sharing in chat. Check out the products, full information on our website. And I always like to see the pictures to see how people use it.
This one is what we call a non-slip mat. So it's got a little bit of weight to it
Mm-hmm.
when you set it down. It's got some helpful hints at the top. Can we see that?
Yes.
Yeah. We've got some helpful hints at the top, like what your millimeter size is. That was a thing when I first started working in beading. I don't know what a millimeter is.
Mhm.
Us poor Americans don't know how to do anything in metric, you
Right.
know. So that was a nice thing to have. And then at the bottom, it's got inches and centimeters, so you can measure your pieces, your bracelets, and things like that. So this is just really nice, and it has a non-slip surface.
Would you agree that it's almost the same texture as a thin mouse pad?
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking the
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be what I would compare it to.
Yeah, and I like because it has a little bit of weight. The one thing I will say about the bead mats on my smooth surface tables, that this one solves that problem,
Mhm.
is that they tend to travel.
Yeah.
As I'm working, they will move around a little bit. And I've put like underneath mine on my table, I put like that no skid rug thing.
Oh,
I bought some of that and just put it under that, and that solved the problem with it moving.
clever.
Yeah.
So
And they've got that at the dollar store.
yeah, you can. It's like that shelf liner or
Yeah.
anything that's
Yeah.
kind of non-slip like that.
Nice.
I'm going to show you too this sticky mat. This is a cool little thing to have because your beads kind of stick to it and they don't travel around, and you can like pick them up easily. We have a friend that comes to the shop that has a little trouble with one of her hands, and so she can't hold it and pick it up at the same time. And so this has been a great tool for her to have.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pair that with one of the mats that you just showed. So you can
Yeah.
use them all together.
You can use it on your mat with your other thing, and it's really a nice thing.
I will also say with this one, and you maybe were about to say this, but I like to lay out my seed bead designs on these
Mhm.
and keep them there so I don't have to think.
Right.
They just stick there.
So you
And
can
as
say,
my mat travels around my table or as I bump
Mhm.
things, they're stuck without
Right.
a sticky residue like
Mhm.
tape.
and I think the other thing that this would be good for is if you're doing a pattern that repeats, that you could lay it out at the top
Yeah.
and remind it so you don't have to keep looking at your pattern. You can
Mhm.
just do it once, lay it at the top, and then you could get back to
That's
it.
smart.
Yeah.
Clever.
I like that idea too. All right, we've got a channel flock board. This is this tool. That's like
Yeah, Becky,
grab me
can you grab
that's-
one from over
that's not in the package.
Yeah.
Sorry. If you see on the picture here, it's a little hard because of the reflection, but this it's called a channel flock board. It's got like 4 channels for you to put not like you could change channels, but
Grooves.
4 grooves, 3 grooves, 1, 2, 3 that you can do your necklaces in. You can lay your patterns out, and it's nice because here's the 0 is the middle of your design, and then you work your way up. So if you want to make a 10-inch necklace or a 20-inch necklace, you put beads up until you get to the 10, and then that's going to be 20 inches. You know, same thing if you want to do a small bracelet. Let's say you want to do a 7-inch bracelet, so you're going to go out to 3.5 on each side. And then that just kind of lays out your design. It has little compartments that you can put your beads into, which is a great tool to have. This is goes up to, at the top, 17 inches from the bottom. So that's a 36-inch necklace. You can also lay out, the nice thing is you can lay out, if you want to do layered or 3-stranded necklaces or something like that, you can lay out graduated sizing in here as well. So that's nice. A nice thing about that flocked board. Has a little bit of a, almost like a felt, so it's easier to pick things up off. It's not slippery. I've seen those made when they are plastic.
Yeah.
And they're really hard. Everything just rolls around on it. We have a similar to that one that is just a flat. This one has a little lid on it. It's good for travel. Not like throw it in your suitcase and travel, but if you just want to pick it up and cover it and put it away, it has compartments.
Bring it to your crafting group.
Bring it to your crafting group. And it has 4 little grooves that are straight on there, which is really a nice thing to have. Here's a little better picture of that. I like that one too. I like the little travel. And then this one is a nice one too. I'm going to just show the picture of it. It's a flocked as well, but it has different size diameter of bracelets. So you can lay out your beads, and this one's going to be a 7-inch, or that one's going to be a 8.5. It's got little compartments to keep your beads in as well. So that's a nice tool as far as trays go. And this one also comes with a cover, so you can, especially if you have pets in the house or small children, you can cover it and put it away when your project isn't finished yet. So that's a nice tool to have. Anything else you guys want to say about trays or things like that?
I will say I pair the bead boards with the mat. Like I'll put my mat underneath it, and it just seems to be the perfect combo. And also the triangle trays, I will scoop into like I'll use the triangle tray and scoop into the recessed areas of the bead board. And then that will kind of help me. Actually, can you grab a triangle tray, Jenny? And can we do a quick little demo?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not explaining that well.
This will.
Yeah. And I will grab
The flock board now.
Yeah. So I just, like when I'm putting beads in here, I'll use the triangle tray and just kind of scoop them up and then just lay my beads into the channel.
Yeah,
and
that's
it just
good.
seems to work well for me.
That works.
And another tip that I really like to utilize, I'll get my crimps out at the beginning of a project, and then I'll lose them. But I like to put them in these little channels or in these little pockets up here. And that seems to help me not lose them. So speaking of triangle trays, Becky, can you grab some loose beads from over there so Jenny can demonstrate the use of the triangle trays? Because I think that might be next on our list.
Yeah, we're going to get down there to the triangle trays, which let me just say right now, you can never have too many triangle trays. So here we're going to put some on there, some loose beads. And then these are just super easy to pick up with your tray. Put them on your Abby, as Abby was showing.
Sorry,
She
it would
can-
have been much easier with the.
So you can just kind of pick up and then, put them on your tray like that and move them around like that. It's so much easier. But they're just so much easier to pick up. And then when you're doing cleanup, just pick them up and put them in your tray, and boom, your cleanup is done. I love the triangle trays.
And they also operate as just like a little dish on your mat too.
If you're a beader, then you know this about bead soup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So I have probably 3 of these on my table at home with bead soup in them. So
yes.
and if you're new to beading, bead soup is that little piece that you didn't want to put away, and it's a project and you just threw it in your tray, and then pretty soon you have a tray full of little pieces that you didn't want to put away.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
and then you can, I challenge myself every once in a while to make something out of my bead soup.
Oh, I've done it.
So,
yeah.
so
yeah.
so I
It's
can get
fun.
rid of them because I really don't like to put them away. I'm going to go on to a little lovely tool here. It's called elastic cord needle. This is a great tool to have. It has a little hook right here at the end that you can string your beads on it first and then grab the elastic cord with the little hook on the end and kind of pull it through. So you don't have to sit and string one at a time your little beads. This is stiff enough that you can pick up your beads and put it right on there, and instead of one bead at a time in your hand and put the elastic through, one bead, put the elastic through, which is a little tedious. Can be therapeutic, but also tedious.
Yes, very much so.
Very much. All right, we're going to talk some about extra helpers. Our little extra helpers. Triangle trays is one of them. We love our triangle trays.
And you can get a free triangle tray and bead mat with any $20 purchase or more at beadplace.net today if you
Yes.
type building blocks in your comment in the order notes.
Building blocks is, all right, here we go back to our little tray here. So here's our triangle tray. That was our first one. We talked about that a lot already. These are so inexpensive that I just say I think we sell them in a 3-pack,
Yes.
get 3 packs.
Yeah.
They're just really a great tool, and I can't recommend them enough. So there's your triangle tray, and awesome tool. Next thing I'm going to talk about scoops. So that's one of them. Scoop. Here's another scoop, which is great if you're like digging out of a big pile. If you only have this one, it's great for scooping off the bead mat as well, but it's good for moving beads to and from. You're going to bring me some more beads?
Oh, for the scoopies.
And then, yeah.
For that next guy there.
Yeah. And then scoopies is this next tool that we're going to talk about. So you can pick up your scoops like that and put them right back into the jar, which I'm going to tell you, you can do it with the triangle tray. It works, but you kind of have to focus your hand around it and make it work. So there is picking those guys up and putting them right in.
Clever.
So that's
What
the
will they think of
scoopies.
next?
Scoopies.
Scoopies.
Scooby zoos.
I will say we use that scoopies all day, every day.
Yeah. He's a very popular guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about, this is Becky's favorite, the Easy Bracelet Mini. This one is how it comes. It comes flat like this, and then you tape it together, and it looks like this, so that you can put your bracelet around it once it's finished. Here, I'll take one of mine off so you can see it.
Whose idea was it to Velcro? Was that your idea, Jenny? Where you Velcro it and
then you can take it apart?
yeah.
No,
for
but
trade
now I'm
shows.
going to have to do it.
Yeah, somebody, I forget who it was, but somebody who used to do a ton of craft shows and would take sizes from people right then and there for custom orders.
Mm-hmm.
They Velcroed it so that it could pack flat.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
So here's a bracelet that I wear, and it measures 7, just under 7, just over 7. So right between 7 1/4. Now, the reason that this is great is because you can measure a bracelet on flat and it says 7 inches, but there's something about the size of the beads and diameter of the beads on your wrist that it makes it bigger. Like you have this bracelet.
I'm trying to think of my biggest piece that I have.
Because there's more space between the hole in the bead and
Right.
your wrist.
Right, because it raises up off of there. That says 7 1/4 as well. But if you look at it, laying down, doesn't that look bigger than,
Yeah.
it looks bigger. So you don't really get the same measurement if you do it flat.
Right.
Measures the inner diameter. There you go.
Yeah, it's the inner diameter, what your true wrist measurement is. Whereas if you lay it out flat, it can be off.
Mhm.
And just a 1/4 of an inch off on a bracelet makes it too tight or too sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have, if you're going to be making bracelets for people, this is a great tool to have. So There we go with that. Last one on that tray is the bead oracle. I'm going to tell you, when I first started beading 20 years ago, I needed this so bad. And now I'm just like, I don't really even think about it, but I recommend it to everybody that comes in that's new, because like I said, we don't know this millimeter thing. And so this is great because on this side, it shows you the different millimeters, helps you get that in your brain about how that works. It says, how many beads do I need to strength, length of string in inches. And then this is how many 5 millimeter beads you would need to fill that up. That's a really good tool to have. The other side has, you can see the different wire gauges over here, which I love. And then it has how to measure beads, laid side by side, look like this, So that's it's a great tool. I love Bead Oracle.
And it fits in your wallet.
I can't believe I forgot those.
Well, my thought is, because we are a bit over on time.
Yeah.
If it's okay with you all, we can finish with these guys, and then we can post our link list of Jenni's favorite tools in our Facebook group after.
Okay, we're back. Okay, we were off for a minute there, but we have our last thing is our bead stoppers, and this is the mini one. So with your lightweight projects that you don't need it super heavy, and then this one, the heavy duty one. So these are great to have. You put them on the end of your soft wire or your elastic, and it holds it so your beads don't go flying everywhere when you pick up the string and you forgot that you didn't have a bead stopper on it.
Yes.
So that is our last one for today. Those come in 6 packs and 12 packs in the big size, and the little size I think is
16, I
16,
think, or maybe
yeah.
24.
Yeah. So those are
8 for the mini
8
packs,
for the
and
mini,
then 20 for the
large pack.
packs.
Okay. Yeah. So again, that is perfect ending.
Mhm.
We'll use things that we use to tie the ends in to the ending of the show.
Perfect. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, there is going to be a link list posted to our Facebook group, so you can catch anything that you missed. You can find the links. Also, with any $20 or more purchase at beadplace.net today, if you put building blocks in the order notes, you will receive a bead mat as our gift to you, as well as a triangle tray, which are our favorite tools to use. And we will see you Thursday. What's our next building block?
Put the code in the.
I think it will be the same day because February.
Oh, that's right.
And,
Yeah. So March 26th. We'll see you March 26th, Thursday at noon Central. You can always catch the replay for this stream and any of our previous streams over on our YouTube channel. Live replays on Facebook go away after a set number of days, so we always recommend watching the replays on YouTube, where they live forever. You'll see us this upcoming Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central live with Color Combo. Can't believe it's Color Combo time already.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
So choose your own adventure stream. But if you're anywhere within the St. Louis area, we recommend stopping in this Saturday for our free workshop. We are doing a stretchy bracelet stack, showing you our tips and tricks for the best stretchy stacks. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jenni.
Thank you. It was great being here.
Yeah, this was so fun. And if you have any questions about anything you saw, feel free to post in our Facebook group or message us at beadplace.net/contact us.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
See you soon.